Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with a Plastic City Comic Con wrap-up video for 2024. And joining me is my lovely wife, Amy Gleason, who
Hello.
also helps put the show on with me and does a lot of our promotional stuff, including videos, you name it, posts, runs our admissions, and
Yep.
manages all our volunteers, and does a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't normally see. I'm kind of the face of the Plastic City Comic Con, but Amy is the heart of Plastic City
Oh,
Comic
thank
Con.
you. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. People will mostly see me during setup and then day of, but yes.
Yeah,
All the little extra
definitely. And I run a
things.
lot of decisions off of Amy, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. We go put the signs out together. We go promote a lot together. So
Yep. And I
a lot
do make all
going on.
the fun videos on Instagram, which may or may not be successful, but
Yeah, right.
I try.
Hey, it's better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
so but I thought we'd jump on YouTube and make a video kind of talking, maybe do this every year after the convention, just talk about what, how the convention was, our pain points, how our guests were, things like that, and then any problems or challenges we ran into, and then look towards the future and what we're going to do for the next year and things like that. So I kind of put like a little bit of an outline together here. I don't want the video to be like 100 hours either, but
Mhm.
I thought maybe a 10-15 minute video wrap up would be good. The first thing I wanted to talk about too, like we've been at many locations with Plastic City Comic Con, but I think
Yes.
we finally hit our best location so far. Would you say that's
I
true, Amy?
agree. Yeah, I think that that's true. I think it's difficult for conventions and for attendees when locations change. It's tough, and we've had a hard time establishing ourselves in a location only because of the limited venues in the Leominster and Fitchburg area. As people might know, we did our first year at the Leominster Veterans, which is a beautiful facility, but it is tiny. We were only able to fit about 40 vendors total, and it's small. And then from there, we moved to the Wallace Civic Center, which was a very large venue, but it was not updated and it was not physically accessible. And those were the two biggest challenges there.
Yep.
Last year, we were over at Game On, which is a beautiful facility, but it was almost too big. It was very wide open, and it was weird getting the ratio of attendees to vendors, and plus the cost issues there where we had to pay for Wi-Fi and they wanted us to pay for parking, so that wasn't perfect. But this year felt like a really good fit. I think that the Doubletree Hotel was accessible, so it was very easy for people to get in and out. It had carpet, which was great on our feet. The temperature was nice. They had an ATM which stayed stocked and was full. It was easy for people to navigate. The room size felt good. I think it was probably our best venue by far.
Yeah, I agree. Like I did really like Game On, but the extra costs weren't going to work for us,
Yep.
and it was such a big space that, and the thing was, it was out in the middle of nowhere too,
And it
which was
was, yeah.
hard.
Yep.
But people found it. Last
They
year
did.
I'd say probably was our biggest show as far
Yeah.
as attendees and things like
Yeah.
that. But it was also like our ideal date too, which was in late August.
Right. Right.
Which I would like to do for next year if we can get late August or some kind of
Mm-hmm.
September dates. I think would really help us. And the reason we went with July 20th was because it was one of the only few dates available to us from the hotel. They
Yep.
do a lot of weddings and a lot of other activities there. So when we pick a date, it's very limited on what we can get. So, and that was also where some of our challenges were, because we
Right.
were opposite Connecticut, which was also happening the same weekend in
Yep.
Connecticut. And I've never been to that show, but I hear great things. And, I didn't want to compete with them, but like I figured they were, far enough away that they would have their audience and we would have ours. But I'm sure we stole from each other's audiences at least a little bit, you know.
I think so.
And there was also, if anyone that knows this Leominster Fitchburg area, there was years ago, there was a great amusement park called Whalum Park, and it closed down, but they were doing was it like a Whalum Park fair close by?
It was it's sort of like a carnival where they have carnival rides, but I believe they might have some of the Whalum rides from like the Kittyland. I know that they have some of the sort of the memorabilia from Whalum there. They had like the clown there. So it's trying to bring back a small sort of like flavor of Whalum Park.
Yeah.
And that event was happening on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful day. Both days were beautiful. So I think that did impact us a little bit. One of the things I noticed was we didn't have a lot of children at the event. And because our event is free for kids 12 and under, like we want people to bring their families because like, as you know, as I think all of the indie creators know, like you need an audience. You know what I mean? And we want to build a love for comics and a love for reading with like the younger generation, which is why we have free admission. Bring your kids, bring your families. But when it's sunny out and there's carousel horses and cotton candy and like all these people outside, it's kind of hard, like to
well, a nice day, and then also there's probably vacations happening. There's like a bunch of stuff. Probably
there was I think there was some sort of a video game event happening in Fitchburg.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that one. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, it's hard to say too. Like, I mean, whenever you pick a date, you kind of hope you're not trampling on a citywide fair or something, you know. But like, I was still happy with our numbers, though. I mean, it was right in line with previous years. I will say last year, I think we had more people, but not by much, you know?
No, not by much. I think the date made a difference.
Yeah. Do you want to say the number or what do you think? Like,
we can say ballpark. Like we always ballpark between like 1,000 and 1,800 people.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in the middle of that this year, a little less.
Honestly, and I don't know about you, but I kind of don't want to grow any bigger. Like I like the level we're at. And I'm not one of those promoters that like, I gotta get Fanboy Expo's attention to buy the show and that kind of thing. No. I always like the medium size where it's not too much admission, which is always our mission goal, is to keep admission low and also keep vendor costs down as much as we can. One thing I also wanted to talk about too was our great guests this year. I mean, we've had a ton of great vendors, as always, great artists, writers, creators, and dealers that bring a lot of their best comic book stuff to the show. But we had a couple of great like celebrity guests. Well, I guess our key guests. I don't know if there's, if celebrity is the right word, but
the featured guests.
Featured guests. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But Jimmy Hart, like,
what a
was
guy. Our
wrestling guest this year. And I would have to say we've been doing this show, 7-8 years now. And out of all the guests we've ever had at the show, I think Jimmy Hart was my favorite. And I really loved how great he was with everybody. And he was very one thing that I thought was really cool. If you're a promoter out there looking to book wrestling people, he was really concerned about making his guarantee for the show. Like, he didn't want to let me down, which I thought was, it should be the vice versa. I should be like catering to him. And, I thought that was really nice. He was really nice to everybody, even though he was super tired from Friday. That was a whole other disaster we won't talk about.
Yeah, the travel.
The travel was a disaster because of the Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
But
what really impressed me about him is he was genuinely happy to interact with every fan. Yeah. Like the level of engagement was off the charts. He was just so friendly and so outgoing, and everybody that went to see him left with a smile. Like, I don't, so I think sometimes people see, celebrities or somebody that they used to follow back in the day, and, they might be kind of, they seemed okay. No, everybody thought Jimmy Hart was awesome.
Great,
And he brought his A game. And I think that he, like, you know how they say never meet your hero? This is a hero you do want to meet, because he will meet your expectations. He is that fun, cool, energetic guy, that
Southern gentleman.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And then we also had comic guest Jim Salicrup. He used to be a big Marvel editor back in the day. We brought him to the train station, and he had a lot of great stories, and he's just somebody you can genuinely talk about comics for hours with. And great guy. Had a fun presence to the show. Like, he does like kind of like goofy little drawings for people and things like that. And as far as I heard, people are enjoying meeting him as well. And then we had other guests like Fabrizio, which was nice to see at the show. Fabrizio is like another creator that used to be with Alterna that I became friends with, and it was nice to see him. And I think it's his fiance. I don't know if it's
his wife.
If they're married. Are they married?
Yeah.
Okay, they are married. Yeah, she's really nice girl as well. And I really loved seeing them. I love seeing Keith Champagne. The Rudettes were awesome.
The Rudettes were
G.I.
great.
Joe fan. We've had them at the last show, but they are always a good draw.
And I think something that continued at our show, which I think makes it stand out a little bit, is that people did have conversations with these guests. Like, attendees did walk up to them and talk to them and chit chat. And like Jim Salicrup, you could definitely have a conversation about comics or whatever with him, and people did. Like, that's one thing about like the attendees. Like, I like to have about what we had, maybe a little more, but keeping it at a certain size lets you walk up to a creator and ask, hey, what's your book about? Tell me about it. How long have you been doing this? And you can have, like, people don't feel like rushed along, or keep it moving the way you might at a much bigger show, So that's what I like about having this mid-size. It's not tiny, but it's like a mid-size show where there's enough people there. There's names, there's books you're looking for, and you're not going to get pushed along by like the tide of people,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I enjoyed that as well. And each and every vendor that came to set up with us, I think I know most of the vendors at this point. Every year we get a handful of new ones I've never met, so it's nice to get to know everybody. And now us from our this video. We'll probably put it on the Facebook page too, so at least who's the people behind the convention. I also wanted to say we had a great staff this year. Like, I know every convention uses volunteers, but I feel like our volunteers are like our family, like some literally our family.
Yeah, some are literally related to us.
But they do, each and every one of them works hard for us. Like, I love that,
And what's funny is that, like, I do sort of like communicate with them, and I am in charge of the volunteer, but they know their jobs. Like, these are all people who've been working at this convention. Some of them help at other ones. They come in, they know how to do customer service. They know how to help people. And I think they do just a nice, comforting presence to folks. And kudos to our volunteers this year who were out on the floor, because I know that they did help out getting meals and things for vendors, which is not something a lot of volunteers normally do, but they really wanted to go above and beyond and help people have a good day, a good, successful day. So, like, if you're one of those vendors that's by yourself and you didn't have a friend to come with you and you don't have someone to help you, and you're starving and you have to go to the bathroom, like, our volunteers keep an eye out for that. So
just look for the Plastic City red shirts.
Look for the red shirt. You know how our red shirts are the opposite of Star Trek. Star Trek, the red shirts are like the disposable. They send the red shirts. Our red shirts are key. They are key crew members.
I agree.
And we could not do it without the red shirts.
My last note too, also the fans that show up every year. Love all you guys and love seeing you every year. The cosplayers like Matches Malone, who had a great article in the Worcester magazine on Friday the 19th before the show. If you can find that, go snag it. I mean, Matches Malone is one of those cosplayers that is actually a cosplayer with a heart of gold. Like,
Yep.
he doesn't just visit Comic Cons as Batman. He visits children's hospitals and what have you. I mean, such a kind, caring guy that loves to give back, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll give a shout out to Zombie Leader too. I know they had a booth, but like they raised a ton of money for, it was cancer research, right?
I don't remember exactly. I know it was for a while. It was leukemia. It might be something now different now, pancreatic maybe. But yeah, he's always doing raising money for cancer research and things like that. I think he told me this year was his maximum too. Like he raised the most ever this year, which is awesome. It's great. You know, we love to help out with that as much as we can.
I found out, to give him the proper shout out, it was the Lustgarten Foundation for Pancreatic Research.
Okay.
They raised over $400 at Plastic City, and that all goes back to research to help people. So that's fantastic. Like, our cosplayers do have like hearts of gold, the ones that come to our show. They're great folks.
Yeah, definitely. And then the kind of the last point I wanted to talk about too is like for the next year, which, you know, we're still kind of recovering this week, but I don't know, maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll talk with the Hilton again and see what dates we can kind of grab for next year. We'd love to come back, do another one day there. The staff there is amazing. Like, they set up all the tables. Like, so I might do a little bit of map tweaking on. I think your map was Amy designed the map for the show as well. And I think the only thing that was off was there was the main ballroom, the middle aisle was a little tight. So I think next year I may have them even out the aisles, like, you know, so they're all evenly placed.
It's easier having seen it set up once.
Absolutely. So I think we're going to tweak that a little bit. So we had a little complaints there. So if you're in that middle aisle, we're going to try to fix that next year. I'm also going to look to tweak the vendor pricing a little bit, not to go super expensive, but, you know, after talking to Joe Souza and a couple of other great con promoters in the area, I feel like he does different pricing based on corner spots and wall spots. Like, he charges more for someone to have a wall spot, more for somebody to have corners. So I may look at that and increase that number. But I also, the other thing I was curious about too is we had a small junior ballroom, and then we had 3 small rooms off to the side, off to the main hallway. And I was thinking of maybe tweaking those smaller rooms to be a little cheaper for people that are like just looking to get in the con, a little cheaper. But one thing I was impressed with the show is I thought those people were going to get lost during the show, but there seemed to be a lot of people going in and out of those rooms.
I think that there were. Yep.
I don't think they're as bad as other little rooms at other conventions that we've been to, where you have to walk, you know, half a mile to get to a small
they're all
right
else, off of that hall. I think the traffic was good. I think the issue in the small rooms is that they felt a little tight, cramped. But
so we might even want to look at, you know, getting rid of a table or two in there, but maybe not. I don't know. It was fine, but, you know, we'll have to take a look, you know. And then what else did I have? Oh, and I was thinking about, so the cost for the venue is about what we were paying for, you know, Game On, which was pretty big space, but it's worth it. It also has the whole, you know, the tables and everything mixed in, which is fine. What I'm thinking of doing next year is make sure we just get like one good wrestler and then maybe one good comic person to come, you know, creator to come to the show. Because I feel like,
I think what a lot of people don't understand, if you're not in the comic scene, is that like we as promoters have to pay for them to come in up front. And there's a lot of logistics involved between like housing and travel. And
we have to pay for all that stuff. So and a lot of it's like, since we keep our costs low, like admission and vendor spaces, we keep low. you know, it's a balancing act to try to make
Yeah.
stuff make sense. So, like, you know, we couldn't get like a superstar like Alex Ross that's going to cost like so much to get,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and then like that would kill the show. So it's
Right.
all that balancing, trying
Yeah.
to
Because that is what makes ticket prices go up, like admission prices go up. And I don't
exactly.
think people really think about that big picture. Like if it costs $60 to go to this convention, but you also have, 10 Hollywood actors. So
Yeah.
that's part of the ticket price.
Right, exactly. So we're figuring that out. We're trying to keep the budget in a reasonable level there. Um and then I mean, did you notice any other pain points? I mean, I think did
Only
you have
my knees a little bit, my feet,
well,
maybe.
that's with every convention we go
I know.
to. It's like, ow, my back and
Yeah, my
legs.
back. No, not a lot of pain points.
I mean, as far as like the running of the
Right,
show and
right.
the
No,
way
I
it
don't
flowed.
think so. I think it'd be there was little things that you've already covered, and I think overall it was a successful venue, successful show. Anybody watching, if you are coming to the Central Mass area and you need lodgings, like the hotel, the staff are so nice. Even like the restaurant staff was great, the food was great, like the people who
Price is
helped,
reasonable, like
the price
more
was reasonable.
more
Yeah,
than
that
I've
that
seen.
hotel it's really nice. So I highly recommend it. So kudos to the staff and the management at the DoubleTree Hilton. They're fantastic. We love them. Um, and yeah, I think another pain point is for anybody watching, especially on like Facebook, if you didn't attend, why? Like I'm just wondering why people didn't attend.
Yeah, and also if you were a vendor, especially in
Mm.
the small rooms, I'd love to hear what your
And we'd love
thoughts
that
were
feedback.
for
Yeah.
that. Or any feedback for the show.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. You know, we'll take it all in, and then, you know, if it's
Yep.
something we can fix, we certainly will toss it around and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But yeah, so all right, everybody, we're gonna wrap up here. Just wanted to kind of get with
Yeah.
Amy and talk about this year's show,
Yep.
what we loved and what we, you know, what we can improve on and things like that, and
And
just
just
talk about the experience. And overall, I've been very happy with this last show.
Yeah, and thank
And
you so much. Thank you to everybody who came to the show. Thank you to all the vendors who helped make it a success. And of course, our red shirt volunteers, thank you. So there's a lot of people that go into making something like our show a success. And
absolutely.
this year was good. It was good.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you all. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, everybody. Have a great week. We'll talk to you later. And most importantly, read some comics. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.